Shalom. Salakia, I am. We back. My generator ran out of oil, and then this thing didn't want to. It didn't want to let me get back on. You know. But all praises to the Most High. We got it back. We was 40 minutes in, so we got 20 minutes, y'all. We was going into some health things. Let me see. Let's see if I could get back to that, because y'all was talking that talk. Some things I wanted to address. Some things I wanted to address inside of the chat. Y'all was talking that talk. Bang, there it is there. Let me see. Ah, Yashikar said they hated that Vit K talk or the comment and the doula talk. Con, brother, brother was thinking the same thing right before you mentioned Patreon. Monster told. For that same reason. Because they be doing some public enemy, shut them down stuff on us real quick. And that's the truth. Yeah. Talking too much. Saying too much, huh? But it's obvious though, you know. We passed that sleep era, right? We're not sleep no more. Everybody's thinking, right? Nobody was thinking before. We didn't ask any questions. We didn't have any questions. You know what I'm saying? Things were what they were. You said what you said. Oh, that's what you want to do to me. All right, here's my arm. Here, take my baby. You say I need this, huh? Okay, take my baby. Right? It was the Most High Spirit upon us that had us to say, why do I need that? And start questioning these people. They wasn't ready for that. A lot of this stuff they don't have answers for. There's really no nice way to, play it off. I'm like, how long y'all been giving that vitamin K shot? She was like, she told me some amount of time, 50s or something like that. She said since the 50s. I was like, okay, so what was y'all doing before that? Like the Most High don't need your vitamin K shot for a baby to live. Please. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Come, Maria, I'm back now. We gotta get in another 20 minutes. Blessed be Brother Bronze. Blessed be you, Ott. Blessed be Stan Williams. Right? We all blessed, man. We so blessed, man. Every time that sun right there come shine down upon us. That's blessed. You know, it can't do nothing but get better from there. You got the sun shining on you, right? And that's what they be trying to blind us from, right? The dinner concept, right? I got a dinner concept. Hmm. Should I give y'all the dinner concept? I'm full of concepts, y'all. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give y'all the dinner concept. Who knows the dinner concept? Have I have I revealed the dinner concept to anybody that's here? Wait and see if somebody gonna say something. Somebody here. Dinner concept. That's all we was doing. When we're reading this book, right? That's all we did. Dinner. You woke up in the morning, you figured out dinner, right? We woke up in the morning. The men did what they did, right? If they were going to catch a beast or whatever they was going to do, you know, you got your sons together, you got the tribe together, and everybody took off and they went off into the wild, you know, with their weapons, looking for a beast or whatever. And they didn't always catch one, you know, but you're looking for a beast, you catch the beast, you take it home, you know, and that was what the men did all day. And they had to run, you know, through a terrain to catch this beast, right? So you that's exercise, right? Right? You throwing harpoons and stuff. You know, that takes strength, I am. You're athletic when you're doing this, right? You take the beast, you flip it over your back, boom, you know, and you huff it home. Who knows how far you are from the house, right? You huffing home, right? All of the women, right? They getting everything else together. They getting the sides together, you know. And you wasn't peeling nothing out, no packages, you know. They really got to get the beater and beat things and knead things up and you know what I'm saying? Break down grains and you know, quinoa and flour or whatever they got going, you know, wheat. They gotta break that down, right? So they're getting that part ready, you know, and you know, cooking the vegetables and things like that. And you show back up with that meat and you put that meat on some fire, you know what I mean? And all day, every day went into that last meal, right? That meal, that meal at the end of the day. And that's all life was. Simple life, right? So we got to understand that that's all life was. Now they done made life complicated. You know, you worried about how does my hair look? You know, I need this. I need this hairstyle. I need this purse, right? I need this jacket, right? Brothers, I need this car. I need this, you know, I need this big old house, right? You need all of these things. You worried about all of this stuff, and that done nothing but made your life so complicated, right? You drowning in all of these emotions and failures and right? Who cares about the dinner? You gonna, you know, you gonna scarf that, you know, that's no, but that's all life used to be was dinner, right? From the moment you woke up, okay, let's figure out this dinner. And that was life. No complication. Simple. The simple things, right? But now that got us distracted by all of this stuff. Now you need all of this stuff, man. They done made life so complicated, right? So that's something we got to understand when we're in our book and we're trying to figure out, why is this so complicated, Because you got too much stacked up on top of yourself, right? That's why it's not as simple as you're reading in this book. I know you're reading this book and you're thinking, man, I got so much going on. Like, how can I latch on to what this is talking about? I got so much going on. You got to want nothing. You got to start stripping that stuff off and you realize what you really don't need, right? And that's what the Feast of Tabernacles is trying to teach us. Who got the tabernacles for the first time and said, man, all I needed was a tent, right? You was probably somewhere where your phone didn't work. You couldn't get you couldn't get no good reception. Some of those places we go camp at, right? And man, you laid down and you felt that breeze and you felt how it feels to have, you know, nobody riding your back. You ain't gotta go to work, You ain't gotta do the hustle and bustle that you used to doing. You probably never had a break from, and who knows how many years until you got the tabernacle, right? And you laid in your tent and you unzipped your tent window and that breeze came through. Oh my goodness, right? You surrounded by iron. You step out your tent to 2, 3, 4, 500 more tents, and it just looked like the children of Israel, just as far as you could see, right? And then you just go around, to different doors, different tents, right? That's peace right there. That's the peace we lacking in the city, right? And that's dinner. You ain't doing nothing, you know. You're messing around, you're studying, you're doing this and that, you're here and there, you're visiting it, and then the main event is when we're gonna come together for that meal, right? That's dinner right there, right? We would sit down, that meal will get prepared, we would eat that meal together, right? We'll let that digest a little bit, and then what we do, we kick that fire off and dance around it and praise. It's praise time now, you know what I'm saying? And that's all life was, right? That's how we live into 120 in the book. Praise the higher. That's the dinner concept, right? So if it's anything more than dinner, which the Most High promises, right, in Matthew 6, right? He promises that, right? Food, shelter, raiment, right? Raiment is clothing. Raiment is clothing. Your house is a covering. It's clothing, right? And back then, we didn't have no rent, right? Your son came of age and you made him a tent, right? Or you showed him how to make a tent and he made his own. Okay, this is your area right here. You're going to build your tent right here. And that was his, you know what I mean? You see how complicated they done made life, I am? But we can reverse that, right? It's the answer right there, right? We have to get land, have to get our own land back. You know how many tents we could fit out here? You know, put our heads together, put our coins together, and I'm about to hook up these solar panels and grow some food. That's all I'm really spending money on right now is gas for the generator. But once I hook up them solar panels and start getting energy from the sun, and then I grow this food and I fire that grocery store, and my life is free, right? Gas for the cars, maybe, you know. What we gonna do about that? We gonna need some gas for the cars, right? Yeah. Valerie, Khan, been thinking about tabernacles since tabernacles. Yeah, I'm still at tabernacles. I didn't go home. I came over here after tabernacles. This is where I've been since, but I've been in the truth quite a while, for a long time. And I knew one day I was going to do this. Since the first time I went to tabernacles, we all said the same thing, every year. Like, let's not stop this. How many times have we had those conversations? I am all of us together, and we like, man, let's just not go home. you know, let's just stay out here. So eventually this was gonna happen. You know, all praises to the Most High. Let's read y'all a little bit. We got 4 minutes. All right. I got a vaccine exemption from the deacon when I gave it to the doctor for my baby. They looked all sad. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, we know how smart they are, man. They know how to put something in you that ain't gonna manifest until you know, and it has triggers like a certain thing that you eating is what's gonna make it manifest, right? Maurice the Graffin Reed, that's my uncle. Shalom, huh? Hey nephew, I see you. Yeah, yeah, good to see you, huh? We gotta get up. I gotta call you, and we gotta talk. Sorry, I missed your joint. I was trying to make it. I didn't get to make it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll come see you where you at. You went back to Texas? We'll talk. We'll talk. I'm gonna get up with you. Uh Cephas, 1984, Brother Bronze. I really hope you take another look at Saul and the gospel he is preaching. Yeshua never taught saved by faith alone in the death, burial, and resurrection through grace alone. Grace alone? What are you saying? We don't believe no grace alone, nothing. We don't believe that around here, you know? So talk to me more, brother. Let me know where you going with what you talking about. Type some more in here. Because we don't believe that. I mean, you know, uh Saul, which is Paul, and the gospel he is preaching, gospel is good news. So it's gonna be good news at the end of at the end of whatever it is, it's gonna be good news, right? And that's good news that we have action at this kingdom, that we can repent for our sins, and be reconsidered again. That's the good news, right? So take another look. I've taken the billion looks, and I've seen where First Corinthians 13 got me. Okay, I floated into a realm, right, and didn't want to leave. So, what can you tell me? What are you bringing? Feed my curiosity, man. Tell me some more. I'm up for it. We can have a conversation. You know, So beautiful. My daughter loves it as well. Said she wished it lasts for a month. Hi, Sister Maria. Yeah. Sister Valerie, mine don't. Hopefully, one day my children will enjoy it. I feel it's getting easier each year, but they ain't got no choice. Yeah, it gotta grow on some people. Some people love that city. Forget what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Let me plug in my tablet. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what the MAV stand for? That was I think it was Matthew 12. Let's find it. Matthew 12 and 2. My name comes from Matthew 12 and 2. Nah, that ain't Matthew. What is that? Romans 12 and 2. Salakia. I don't know how I missed that right now. Romans 12 and 2. Be ye not conformed to this world. That's where the maverick came from. It's to be not conformed to this world. It's not to be a follower. It's to, you know what I'm saying? It's to be a lone righteous man. You know what I'm saying? That's what a maverick is. He's not a follower. He's going to do the right thing, even if it means he has to be alone. And I was alone when I came up with that name. You know, I didn't know y'all back then. You know, I didn't have y'all in my life back then. You guys, I didn't even imagine y'all. You know, I didn't know anybody doing what I was doing when I gave my life to this truth. You know, y'all came after. You know, y'all came after I made all of my moves, man. You know, all I knew was my family, friends, and we was all thugs, and you know, tell them, huh? You in here? You know, my family was wild. We had party every weekend, and the whole family came over, and they brought friends, and we'd all be at my mom's house, about 50 of us, and the music would be blasting, and the drinks would be rotating, and the blunts would be rotating. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the pork could be cooking in the kitchen, and you know what I'm saying? We did this every weekend, you know, and the 16-year-old was smoking with a 50-year-old, and you know what I'm saying? That's my family, you know, and my friends wasn't no better, you know. Uh my family was saints compared to what me and my friends jumped in the car and went and did. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, that was regular to be, you know, what was going on at the crib was, you know, that was lightweight, you know. So I wear a lot of scars. I've lived in a lot of jail cells. I've dodged a lot of bullets. And you know what I'm saying? That's where I come from, you know. So to take a righteous road was like unheard of, you know. And I was the only one on what I was on. And I felt like I was taking my own new road. And I felt like I had to do it alone, you know. All praises to the Most High, you know. Uh, I have a few decent family members, my uncle being one. All praises, you know, he ain't the same as he used to be. You know what I'm saying? But you know, yeah, that's where my name come from. Let's look it up. Let's look that up. Romans 12 and 2 is, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed, right? By the renewing of your mind, right? That ye may prove what is that good, right? And acceptable and perfect, right? The will of God, right? I had to jump off to jump off the porch, and show everybody I knew what was that good and acceptable and that perfect will of God. I had to be the will of God. I had to give my life into the hands of the Most High and let Him show everybody around me what His will was for us, right? So that's why I chose that name, Maverick. Let's look that up. Maverick, un, an unorthodox or independent minded person, right? An unbranded calf, right? Things of this nature. Let's see what the thesaurus says. See what kind of attributes they're gonna give us. Individualist, a non-conformist, be not conformed, right? A free spirit, an unorthodox person. With unorthodox is holy, right? You're not the ordinary, right? So unorthodox and holy is the same word, right? Means to be separated, unorthodox, rare, right? So yeah, that's where the maverick came from, right? So all praise it to the Most High. Never thought to see you live. I love your songs, man. My praise is my fave. Same with Who Am I? Deep. Yeah. Yeah. My praise. I love that joint. You know, Who Am I? I was going for the brother who don't know nothing and Who Am I? I was trying to get the brother who ain't never read a scripture with Who Am I? You know, Shalom, my glad you and family are well. Put your cash app in the video in case someone can bless you. I don't even have one yet. So y'all know that, how far I am from that. So when I do that, I hope y'all look out, you know, because all I'm going to do is try to figure out how to bless y'all with it, right? That's all I'm going to do, you know. Get some vegetation, get some fruit on these hills, huh? Some fruit and vegetables on these hills. I'm trying to turn these hills all kind of colors that you see behind me, right? And and y'all will put in for y'all box, and then I'll be able to hire some more brews, and we'll just come out here and we'll just put y'all box together and send it, and you know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be what we do. you know Everybody quitting their job, you know and that's all we gonna do is go hit our heels and fill up y'all boxes and send them to y'all, so that y'all ain't gotta go eat GMO, you know and non-organic food, and the fake sugar. You eating the orange, man, that got so much of that fake sugar in it and no seeds. You know what I'm saying? What happened to this picture? And yeah, that's what the Most High put on me, tough. I got back here from my experience and I got on y'all nerves. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High put it on me like that. You know, He made it clear that nothing is safe. You know, long as that law, them first 5 books of Moses, long as them first 5 books of Moses didn't talk crazy about it, I felt like it was okay to eat it. You know, He showed me another picture, right? Praise His holy name, right? And His name is Ahia, right? So yeah, that's what time it is, family. We are not safe. Knowing all I knew, I still died, right? My kidneys shut down on me, right? I listened to your songs to get through my military time. Praise the higher. What? You was knocking in the military? Praise the higher. I know it was everywhere, huh? We come from all walks of life. Praise the higher. You know, I love that because I be looking at the military and like, man, you know, you killing for the government, right? If you try to kill somebody handling your business, they gonna lock you up for the rest of your life, right? But it's okay for them, for them to put a gun in your hand and for you to go do what you do, right? That's crazy. And they give a mother a guitar. A guitar is a gun that you gotta hold with 2 hands. That's a guitar. You know what I'm saying? And man, she supposed to be at home nurturing some children, man, breastfeeding and you know what I'm saying? Cleaning, cooking and cleaning, barefoot, right? You got her out there in the jungle with some boots, right? Blowing people 10 feet in the air. Like, man, what kind of nurturer is that gonna be? What kind of mom is that gonna be? Does she ever get to, you know what I mean? Does she ever get to be a loving mother? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But let me get out of that. Don't let me get to getting in trouble, right? Okay. Let him do what he want with his women, right? Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no woman of a higher gonna be killing men. You know what I'm saying? Unless they Deborah and you know, you come fooling around by her tent, you know, and she come make you fall on a nail, right? Praise the higher. The most higher in the heavens, Christ, Israelites, elder brother bronze, elders, Shalom, family, happy love. You can call me an elder because I'm an older brother. Don't put the 50 on me yet. I'm not 50 yet, but I'm headed there. Yes, food boxes. This processed sugar is tearing me up. Uh, come away from it, sister, Lady Judah. Come away from it. Whatever has that fake sugar in it, let it alone because it's a chemical. That fake sugar is a chemical. That ain't it ain't nothing that that can naturally come out of. That's made in a lab. If it's white and shiny and yeah. Mm-mm. Shalom, Mark, do you still eat flesh for the holy days? Yes. To partake with the iron? Yes. You know, but that's gonna stop. Last time, uh, matter of fact, during the Passover, right? During the Passover, I'm like, man, it's gonna be my last time doing this, you know. So, I'm gonna have to start skipping now. I'm gonna have to start doing every other holy day now, right? You know, I'm gonna eat it with you for a holy day, then I'm gonna skip the next holy day. Then I'm gonna eat it again, then I'm gonna skip. Eat, skip, right? I'm gonna have to do something like that, you know. That's a blessing. Ak, you keep the word coming. I'm loving the revelation the Father gave you. Oh, no, he gave it to y'all, right? I didn't need it, right? It was a total act of love that he sent me back here. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to come back here, right? He was like, nah, you got to go back, right? And it's either or. I don't mind being back either, you know. All I got to do is think of that place and I fill up with, you know what I mean, with what was there, you know. And I love being back. I love y'all. I love being able to speak with y'all. I love the idea that I'm helping somebody. You know what I mean? Uh, I come back and do this and feel this pain here and all. It's worth it. It's worth it. I come back here and be up under Esau's foot and everything with y'all. It ain't nothing, right? It's love, you know. And that place where I was at is love. So you know what I mean? Beautiful, man. Yeah, I do this, 1,000 times over, you know, because I know how it ends. So all praises to the Most High. If y'all coming, come on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need no whole bunch of people. I need who is assigned to me. You know what I'm saying? And I can get you to that electric blue. I promise. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't need no billion people because that ain't the prophecy. It ain't a billion people. You know what I'm saying? All of them people not making it. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what the prophecy say. It say a remnant, okay? A few people. So give me my few people and let us go. You know what I'm saying? Let us drift into that realm, you know what I'm saying? And hit that force shield, you know, of dots of beings of love, right? And let us surge when we hit it, and connect to that love, you know what I'm saying? Until the Most High want to take us somewhere else, because I don't think that's the end of things, but that's the waiting place, and we'll be there until this world finish, and who do you think that army of thousands is that Christ comes back with? Because that's how we get there, through his word, through the love that he's telling us to have, right? He is the way, the truth, and the life. What is the way? The way is the path, right, to where I went, right? What is the truth? The truth is love. And what is the life? The life is we're never gonna die. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's our eternity. Where we land at that destination, we all right. There's never going to be a time where we're not all right. And we just get to sit back in all of that love and watch the Most High do everything he told us he was going to do, right? And we just get to watch all of that come true, right? Praise the higher, you know? And I know how to get my few there because I know what I did and I know how I lived, right? And I I I expired for a moment and I skipped all of them realms that they talk about. When I was riding on that wind or the whatever, I passed all of them realms, you know, and went straight to a place of love. Praise the higher, and you know, he had me come back and share that with us, that this is what we stand to gain, you know keeping this law and this gospel and loving each other and being full of deeds, and you know what I'm saying. That's what we stand to gain. We ain't going through what everybody else go through, you know what we stand to see when we make it. I heard burdock root and nettle is good for detoxing kidneys, but I haven't looked into it thoroughly yet. Adding to my research, burdock root and nettle and all of that, that's good. Uh, when you're at least at about 30, I want to say a 30 or so, you know, 25, 30 or so of GFR. You know what I'm saying? Then you can do the nettles and the burdock roots. You know what I mean? You could just do a watermelon fast, and I mean, you can bring your kidneys all the way back. But my kidneys went all the way down to a 2.9, and I was walking around like that, y'all. You know, people die at a 5%. I was at a 2.9, you know. So them doctors be looking me all upside my head when I'm sitting in their office, you know. But his name is Ahia, you know, and it might help them to get to know him, right? And then they'll understand how a brother can walk around with 2.9 kidney function, you know. So all praises to Ahia. I say it all day. How many times a day do we say all praises to the Most High, to Ahia? Or sometimes we just say all praises and leave it at that. How many times a day do we say that? You know, because our life is just shrouded with his blessings, right? But yeah, let's kill it, y'all. Y'all want to kill it or y'all want to just keep on going? Time is it? Nah, I gotta get busy, y'all. I gotta get up out of here. It's 8:30. All right. Go get the family started for the day before I hit the road and go do what I gotta do, you know. But we did 40 minutes before we came back. We did another 40 minutes. Uh all praises to a higher. Yeah, Kazak about to do his Bible study, huh, Valerie? All right, I'm gonna let y'all get to that. Uh Deacon Azariah. Shalom, huh? Shalom. We gotta catch up. We gotta talk again. I know we just talked last week, something like that, but it's time to do it again. You know what's good for heart failure? That concoction I just told them about. Get you some. Get you 7 teaspoons of extra virgin olive oil. Hit it with 2 teaspoons of chia seeds and hit that with a dash of cayenne pepper and slowly increase your cayenne pepper. You want to get it up to where you taking at least a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And that's going you know fire you up, open up your arteries and all of that. And yeah, it gets your heart pumping. You know, the cayenne pepper is good for your heart, you know. But yeah, you need a few things that help you with heart failure. Hit that Plant Vineyards 144 at Gmail, and I'll give you my notes that I got on the heart. And it's gonna be a lot of stuff that you could take, and natural stuff, everyday stuff, and get right, on your heart, So yep. Let me see. You just took it 20 minutes ago. You still feeling it, Kim? Calm. You'll never have a heart attack or a stroke off of that, because you circulating how you should. Gotta make coffee and get ready. Okay. Oh, crazy. The love destination testimony, another confirmation that the kingdom is within us for whosoever wants it. Yeah, you could bypass all them realms. You could bypass them all, right? And that's what Christ was trying to do for us. He was trying to have us evade that normal judgment that everybody's going to deal with, where they're really going to look at all of your deeds, right? Now, see, if you're unforgiving and things like that, you still going, okay, well, if you don't want to forgive nothing, then we're going to have to look at you, right? You ain't gonna be able to say, "Oh, well, no, I want everything that's been done to me. I want that to be fixed." And then when it's time for you to pay, you ain't gonna be able to say, "Okay, well, all right." No, grace is out the window. No, we're gonna have to, yeah. Now let's look at who you're guilty of trespassing against now, right? So can you see where letting go, whatever happens to you, automatically frees you, right? Yeah. That's how you get out of it. You let go what was done to you. You're not gonna let go everything's been done to you, and then somebody's gonna come and get you and say, well, hey, you got to deal with this. No, that's the switch off, that's the trade-off. You know, you forgive them, I'll forgive you, right? And that's what those scriptures say. We're gonna bring that out one of these days. Y'all don't let me forget. But all right, shalom, y'all. I love y'all. We're gonna do this tomorrow. Father willing, he wake us all up. Let's get together and see what comes out tomorrow, see what we could talk about, right? And y'all come get y'all 501c3s, $100,000 or better, right? To help you build your farm, right? So we could feed ourselves, right? All right. So plant vineyards 144 at gmail.com. All right. Y'all chime in. Let me know what's on your mind. If it's anything I didn't mention and you have some ideas, hit me there. Let me know. All right. We're going to get this thing together, Jake. All right. Shalom. Holla. Holla at y'all soon.